The following program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Good day, happy Monday, and welcome to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, everybody. I am Mike Mayo, joined as always by Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz. How's everybody doing, gentlemen? Are we dry? Are we bailed out? Are we? Did we blow all our winnings? That's the question. Defo, how are you?
I took a very modest approach, but it was hard to blow all of my winnings when my friend Francesco, whose NFL action I'm booking, went 0-7 yesterday and has a chance to complete the week 0-8. No, 0-9, I guess. If he loses tonight, he gave me Kansas City. But every game, and Louis was saying, I look like a loser in every game. Like nobody would pick these teams because he took like what would seem like the most obvious games, but he dodged a lot of those and ended up picking 8 straight losers. He did get one push, so he was 0-8-1 over the weekend. So I ended up making money.
For you. That's good for you. Well, no, you made my. All right. So before we get into the weekend recap, and it was a little bit Dickensian for me, and best of times, worst of times. But let's fast forward to today. I guess, what do we say today? Is it happy? Are we still allowed to call it Columbus Day? Is it Indigenous Peoples Day? Is it just? I saw this circular in my Sun Sentinel this weekend. One of the local furniture stores says "Happy Fall Holiday Dining Sale." So now they're just calling it generic Fall Holiday. Yeah. I mean, what's happened?
Columbus was in disgrace. I'm amazed they still celebrate this as a holiday. In fact, it's already dealt me a setback, being not conscious of the fact that it was Columbus Day, because I have to meet my accountant today to pay my taxes or arrange my taxes from about 6 years ago. No, it was 2021. I always go to the October 15th extended deadline. And
I thought it was September.
October 15th.
And, good.
And all of my paperwork is at the bank, which
that would be difficult.
Yeah, because I had applied for a loan, and all of my paperwork is there, and the bank is closed today, so we couldn't go pick it up.
Yes, believe it or not, today is still a federal holiday. Do not go to your mailbox expecting to get any mail. Do not go to the bank attempting to do anything involving anything other than an ATM machine outside. Because these institutions are closed today. My daughter's school is open today. It's a private school. I don't know about public schools. I think because it's a big election, what they do is alternate where on the either the general election or the this year is the Senate and the Congress races, that the public schools are off on election day to use as polling places and on Columbus Day. So it gets all confusing. But the question is, I mean, it was weird because I was watching TV last night and then they flashed a big thing of like, it's Italian American Heritage Month. I guess that's in honor of Columbus, who, even though he was Italian, did his bidding for the Queen of Spain. It was the Spaniards that on whose behalf he was colonizing and also, I guess, supposedly maybe exploiting and I don't want to say raping and pillaging, but I don't want to go back into the history. A lot of people celebrate Christopher Columbus as a good human being. I don't know whether he truly was or what. The deal is,
what chutzpah he had to have. I mean, thinking that the earth was flat to just take off and start sailing. I mean, the seas could not have been easy to navigate back then in these
and nowadays Kyrie Irving is manning the ship. That's the part. It's like
and Kanye West. I mean, the two of them should get together.
We don't want to talk about Ye. First of all, his name is Ye now, but we all say boo to Ye. Some of his recent comments. Ye, is it Ye? That's right, like Yeezy. Yeah, I pronounce it. I don't even know.
I can't even Hebrew pronunciation. Yay, that's great.
He's not big on the Hebrews right now, from what I'm telling you.
It is strange though to celebrate a guy. I guess, as you said, if they change the name of the holiday to some kind of Fugazi holiday day, that's fine. Now I always look forward to Columbus Day because it was a day off from school, and everybody did.
Not only that, it was also it was the height of baseball playoff season, which back in the day, and it's nice when there's 4 series going that they do play day games again now. But back in the day, everything was day games, and we'd have remember the days where we have the transistor radios, sneak it into school, and you'd be
into Hebrew school, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, after school was over, then you'd have Hebrew school, and even a rabbi. I've told this story many times. It still sticks out. He's doing a sermon on a Saturday. The Yankees are playing on a Saturday afternoon. We're in shul pre-bar mitzvah, and the guy is rocking back and forth, and he goes, Baruch atah Adonai, Brooklyn is up by 2. And you're like, he's listening on the little transistor.
You like when the cantors give the score up.
Yeah.
That's
great.
Before
we didn't have score phone back then, or the internet.
Yeah,
so
you had the transistor radios. Speaking of Hebrew school, this triggers a food memory that was kind of, I guess...
can't be a positive one, I'm thinking.
No, it was my friend Bill Sherman. We would make the walk from PS 236 in Mill Basin over to Temple Shalom of Flatbush, about 4 blocks away on Avenue U. And in between, there was a little row of stores. There was a bakery. Some days I would get those, you remember the Bell? It was like a chocolate-covered whipped cream sponge cake thing. I love those. There was a pizza place. Sometimes we'd get a slice of pizza. And then there was a Chinese restaurant. And sometimes my friend Bill, he loved wonton soup.
No.
And he would get the wonton soup. And it came with the bits of floating little pieces of pork. And one time he brought it into the Hebrew school, and he brought it into the shul. He was eating it beneath the stairwell, like he was hunched over, hiding in a corner. And Rabbi Block, who was a very stern...
You had Rabbi Block, I had Rabbi Book.
Yeah, well,
as
Rabbi
a bookmaker,
Block,
he was great. I don't think he really was named Book. I think he just because he was a bookie, they named the book.
No, Rabbi Block, he was his real last name, and he caught Bill slurping his
eating pork and
very treif pork in the stairwell. I'll never forget. The rabbi ripped it out of his hands and then yanked Billy by the arm. Today there'd be lawsuits, and just pulled him out of the shul and said, "Don't come back." And he banned him for, I think it ended up being a week.
That's a lifetime ban. What are you talking about?
His parents were big benefactors of the schools, of the shul.
Lucky he got suspended at all, or odd that he did.
So I would definitely recommend against bringing any kind of non-kosher items into the actual synagogue before Hebrew school. I don't even know how we got here. Well, Columbus Day. So I'm trying to figure out. Well, Indigenous Peoples Day. What's the appropriate way to celebrate now, food-wise? I mean, do you go? You can't go for Italian food. You can't go for a Spanish. You could. I mean, I would say Joey Esposito Cafe Seville is the perfect place because it's kind of a Spanish continental restaurant, but Joey's Italian and he has some kind of Italian-ish dishes on the menu. But I don't know if that's out. Then go over to the Hard Rock and just start plunging away on the slot machines and they don't really have any indigenous foods there. They don't have fry bread or things like that. But what would you do?
You're recommending people gamble their brains out. Is Joey okay? I mean, that horse didn't do too well, Saragusa, yesterday.
So I
was getting pounded in the wagering early on, and I thought that Mayo, he must have gotten syndicate money and unloaded on this nag.
Yeah, it wasn't all me. Okay, for those who missed the Friday show, we were talking about how Joey Esposito, our friend and owner of Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale, was one
of the truly great Americans also. He is a great guy. I mean, we're lucky to have people that own these places that are so cool, that are sponsors of the show. But you couldn't help but root for the guy. I mean, I almost put money on the horse.
And, Joey had been a long time. Yeah, first of all, if you haven't been to Cafe Seville out there, please go in there because it's one of those
top-notch
perennial Fort Lauderdale restaurants. It's not trying to be trendy. It's not trying to be cutting-edge cuisine. It's just really good food at good value. And he goes around working the tables. If he doesn't recognize you, if you're a first-timer, he's going to throw you something. He'll comp you an appetizer. He'll say, bring him a tres leche cake. He wants you to come back. He's one of those old-school hospitality guys.
Is that the best tres leches anywhere? I find it to be so. I mean, far and away. Best I've had.
Best in Broward. Everybody has their own renditions of what a tres leches cake should be. All I know is that objectively is one of the finest desserts in all of Broward County. Great. I love it. I can't resist it. I don't care what my doctor says. I don't care what my A1C reading is. I'm having a piece of that tres leches cake.
We always leave with one or eat one there. But there's no way we're going without it.
But anyway, so Joey, obviously big time horse player. He loves the ponies. He loves hanging out at Gulfstream on his days off on a Sunday. And him and his partners, they decided to kind of take the plunge into horse ownership. They bought a filly and a colt at a 2-year-old in training sale earlier this year. And it was right after the passing of his very dear friend and business partner, Tony Siragusa. So this colt they named Siragusa in his honor. And I know he was very excited about the prospect of him making his debut in a maiden race at Gulfstream. It was the third race yesterday. Of course, it ended up being like Noah's Ark Day, just a complete downpour. The track got sloppy. They couldn't saddle the horses in the walking ring because even without the rain, they're doing all kinds of construction and remodeling, so that paddock area was closed off anyway. Then I kind of was texting him, I was like, oh, where should I meet you? I want to see you before the race. He said, oh, in the paddock. And then I said, the paddock is closed. I went like by where they were doing in that saddling enclosure. He wasn't even around there. I assume he was like upstairs on the second floor. And I said, oh, you know what, I'll just wait by the winner's circle, because I was confident. And like you said, when the opening of the betting, this horse was listed as 8-1 morning line, and everybody said, maybe, but the money came pouring in, and I didn't know we had so many listeners of the Lunchbox because I mentioned it on Friday.
You torched a lot of Lunchbox money with this suggestion, Mike. You're going to be buying lunch for like a lot of our viewers and listeners here on the show.
Well, or Joey has a big network. I'm sure all his friends were kind of rooting on it. And I put
it looked like the receipts from Seville from a Saturday night that went in on that horse early on.
Well, it looks like the price of veal chops might be going up a little bit, but it was. Look, it's I call it a throwout race, but the horse didn't break well. He was in the back, and then once it's a money track and they start taking dirt in the face, he just backed up. He ended up finishing last, and I wasn't going to be that guy with Joey, because in the morning I said, I hope he's a mutter, and I was every part of me wanted to kind of text him and say, I guess he's not a mutter, but I was.
I was a mutter, right? Yeah.
I wasn't going to be that guy with him. I could do it with you, Defo, but
no, you always put the kiss of death on. Did you say let's go Mets to me last night? My days of working at Shea, and
so
still slight affinity for the Mets.
Yesterday was the worst of times, but Friday, me and you, Defo, that was the best
nice.
of times.
Good time, man, and you took down pots everywhere. I mean,
well,
first on the horses, and then you move over to the poker tables, and it was great how you spotted those blue hairs. I don't know how you did it. It was like they were passing out Alberto VO5 at the table. And first of all, and all of a sudden you're up like a giant before you even had a chance to warm up the seat.
First of all, let's back up to the food portion of the day, because I think that's where it all gets started. When you get
Bake
in a good
Shack
mood,
was great.
Good karma. We had a good show at Bake Shack with our friend Keith. He put on a really nice display of all his offerings, and we chowed down, and that was great. Put us in a good mood. You were saying, "Oh, I have to go to this appointment at 2." I was like, "No, I was the devil whispering in your ear." I said, "Let's just go up to the Fronton, former Fronton on Dania Beach Boulevard," and we popped in there. And both of us, you were cashing tickets. I was pretty good with the handicapping. You were good with the money management, and you figured out how to maximize the use of the effective handicapping. And you
always
walked
good when
out
you
of
can
there.
turn chalk into a big profit.
No, and you ended up walking out with almost a dime.
Yeah.
I went down to the poker tables there, and I hit a high hand for a dime.
That was sweet. What'd you have? 4 kings?
Yeah, quad kings. I had a pocket pair of kings.
Did you win a hand at least?
Roll-ups. I did.
You get bluffed out. Yeah.
But here's the part. Here's the funny part. I was down to my last $11 because I got.
Oh wow!
I got clobbered on the previous hand with one of those ridiculous beats where a guy goes runner to beat me, and I lost like $70 on that hand, and I was down to my last 11. I get the kings. I shove it all in. I get 4 callers. And the king comes on the flop, king comes on the river. There was $1,000 on the high hand board, and boom, that was good.
You took it down.
That was a good day.
What?
And Lubie is yawning, like he doesn't want. Nobody wants to hear the gambling.
No,
Lubie went back to deal with all of that nonsense that he had going on Friday.
No. And the thing was, you'd be proud of me. I got DQ'd out of the trifecta in the feature race at Keeneland on opening day. That kind of put me in a foul mood. Yeah. And that's when I got up, and you'd be proud of me because people say, "Oh, I'm a degenerate." No, what did I do with the $1,000? I went straight to the bank across the street, which is my bank. I put 500 in, and I kept 500 in my pocket.
You bank across the street from a parimutuel facility. Oh, you are a tough guy. I'm telling you, man. That
well, it
takes
didn't
some
use.
nerve.
It didn't used to be my bank. It was one of those mergers. I used to be SunTrust,
Yeah.
which was a pain in the butt to get to. Then they merged with BB&T, which is right across the street from the High Life Fronton there. And
I've
but
been
no,
to that ATM machine many times back in the day.
oh wait,
Whatever
are
bank
you
it was. Yeah.
are you one of those guys that in order to avoid the $9 vig
I don't
on
like
the
paying that fee if I
ATMs
don't
at
have to.
the yeah, because I hate that too, where they charge you an extra $6 in addition to the $3 that your own bank charges if you use the ATM.
It wasn't too bad at Dania. It was like $4.95, which is about all I'm willing to go for the convenience of just getting money there.
I'm going across the street and I pay 0.
But that's your bank, so you're paying
Yes.
zero. Okay,
Yeah.
so I would have still had to pay some kind of fee. So,
but
that is not my normal bank. But no,
In
that
any
was great.
event-
You left there. I never seen you so happy. You figured out that one exact date. I paid about $200, and you were sucking down a couple of vodkas.
It was a
great day. And
was
I
a
had
good
that blueberry pancake. I put it in the toaster oven the next day from the Bake Shack, and it was like having a dessert. That was fantastic.
I made
and
it
it was
for breakfast Saturday. She loved it.
Yeah,
I thought De Niro in Casino had ordered the thing because there was an equal number of blueberries throughout the pancake, which was great.
Keith is
also.
a very meticulous pastry chef. He knows what he's doing. He gets a nice copious amount of the blueberries, spreads it around in the batter evenly, and everybody's happy. My mom had one of the blueberry pancakes that I brought back on. I guess it was that day.
Well, you brought back a stack then.
No, I just brought back one, and I made it back just in time before I ran over to the Paramutual. So she had it fresh for lunch on Friday, so she was happy. Everybody was happy, and so I stashed 5 sticks, and I kept 5 sticks in my pocket
I thought you put the whole dime in there.
No, that would be come on. I need some fun money for the weekend.
You're not a lunatic, yeah, for sure.
Degenerate.
No, the nice part was, all right, so I took it on the chin a little bit yesterday at Gulfstream, but I didn't go heavy on Joey's horse because I know, he even said he doesn't know about the prospects. I threw the obligatory.
Did the horse have any workouts, or did they just buy it and then put it on the track?
Oh, no, he had workouts, and that was the thing that kind of roped in some people, including Ron Nicoletti mentioned in his pre-race comments.
Well, I mean, I love Ron, but, not a good omen.
Kiss of death. No, but because one of the workouts that Sir Gusa had was on a sloppy track, and it was a decent workout, so we figured that he might be a mutter. Anyway, I just threw 10.
Oh, here he comes now.
Yeah, that's about the same speed as
Joey,
Tony
nice
did
job.
on the line.
You can't give your friend a hard time if he owns a horse and runs up the track.
It's all fun, and he's still got the filly. He got laid up a little bit with a minor injury. He's going to be hoping to run in January, and that's one named for his wife, but also for yours. It's Sally Seville.
Nice.
Because
Mustang could easily be Sally Seville. No one loves Seville more than Mustang Sally, my wife.
Yeah, so that one hopefully will come off the shelf in January when they're running at Gulfstream and all the top horses and jocks are around. That one was showing some early promise, but in any event, you know what? I consoled myself because it was a miserable day, but I just parked myself at the bar at one of my favorite spots there, Christine Lee's. And after the race,
you were chowing again like you were going to the chair there at Christine Lee's. What didn't you have? Is there an item on the
special?
menu?
I had the special wonton soup because it was definitely a soup day yesterday, the pouring down rain. And then I can't resist when I go there. I gotta get the order of the ribs. They have those beautiful honey lacquered.
Still no wings on Mike Mayo's.
No, because I was by myself and I really wanted the ribs, and I wasn't going to do ribs and wings because that would be excessive. And but I ended up having the soup and the ribs. I had a couple of vodkas, and it was nice enough. Mary was there, and we talked a little bit, and she bought me a drink, and then the bartender bought me a drink. I got out of there. I ended up being comped for both my drinks.
Wow.
I just paid for.
Well, you're Mike Mayo. I mean, people know they rise to the occasion whenever you walk into a place. You ever notice? In Christine Lee's, they have a lot of wonderful choices, but. I just, for some reason, I had a menu from a Chinese takeout restaurant, May's Kitchen. I went there a couple of weeks ago and bought some fried rice. And it has like 12 pages of foldouts. They have a lot of menu items on these Chinese restaurants. My God, how do they keep pace with all of that?
Usually they have the Anglo-Chinese, the Chinese-American menu, the things like the chow mein and the egg foo young. And then they have a lot of places now are having the more of the Asian and what they call, the traditional or authentic Cantonese menus, where you get some things that some people might get a little squeamish about, like jellyfish or pig's feet or things like that.
Jellyfish. I mean, it's good for the memory, from what they say, according to the Prevagen ads. But outside of that, I don't think I'm eating a peanut butter and jellyfish sandwich anytime soon. Your place, chili crab, keeps getting mentioned.
It's good.
Let's Eat South Florida. People are, they always try to target where's the best Chinese north of Boca Boulevard or whatever. And that comes up quite a bit.
And it's not the usual Chinese place, because a lot of the Chinese restaurants can be a little bit dingy or a little bit, some people complain about the overall cleanliness. But Chili Crab is built, it's in a former home. I think it was a barbecue place, but it's just it's on Dixie Highway, just south of Glades Road. Really pretty in there. It's like going into kind of a modern bistro. And the only thing is they kind of have these hardback chairs and some backless benches. So people who are into the full comfort plush seating might not be happy, but the food there is really good. A couple of gentlemen from Hong Kong run the place. One of them, Michael, is the chef, and the other one is running the front of the house. And they have really good seafood. Like they get these Dungeness crabs in, and they steam them with the fried garlic, and they do it with the chili sauce. And it's not like some of these boil in a bag crab places. Some people, the name is a little bit misleading. It's real deal Chinese, Cantonese. Like they have a Peking duck there. Was one of the best Peking ducks I've had in South Florida. So I would recommend chili crab for those.
And how does it compare to the Rainbow Palace, which people always give very favorable reviews to the food, but then it's always mentioned it's a little bit pricey, but
it's expensive, but it has like kind of linen, white tablecloth, and very fine service. But some people are a little bit resistant of paying like $28 for a basic lo mein dish.
Oh, no, that's
the thing with chili crab is it's expensive, but you're getting lobsters and crabs,
Right.
which is an expensive product. Some of their other like basic rice dishes and the dumpling dishes are in line with what you usually see, $14 and $12. It's not your May's Kitchen. It's not the Chinese takeout with the plexiglass, bulletproof plexiglass, but it's a little bit
I always
nicer.
go in there thinking I'm going to cash a check. It really does. It looks like a check cashing store.
Oh, so anyway, I recommend China. I recommend the chili crab in Boca. I recommend mainland China bistro in Coral Springs. I don't know
Hong
if you've
Kong
been there
barbecue,
yet.
another one of your favorites, right?
Really good.
Yeah, and I like Hong Kong City barbecue. Silver Pond has its fans. I know there's been an ownership change. I haven't been back there since a very unfortunate incident that I don't even want to get into. But well, all right, I'll get into it. It was I was there actually with a friend who was Cantonese who worked at the Sun Sentinel, and she spoke perfect Chinese, and we were having a meal where she ordered some of the more exotic dishes, and we got these Chinese greens, and as we were like scooping out the Chinese greens, what's at the bottom of the dish but a smoked cigarette butt?
No,
and, that's something you never want to find.
You call it to the attention of your server.
We did.
And following your own orders of protocol, never mind concussion protocol in the NFL, your own Mayo rules. Did you say, hey, what's this cigarette butt doing at the bottom of my dish here?
That was kind of a deal breaker. It also was an appetite
cigarette
killer.
butt. I've never seen that one.
That was, hairs happen. Cigarette butts should never happen.
The occasional insect. I mean, I understand that.
Like who's smoking inside any building? Like,
well, in a kitchen, a lot of chefs and a lot of kitchen workers smoke. Usually they go in the back alley. They go in the back alley, sneak it, and throw it down. But somebody, if it stuck to their fingers and got at the bottom, I don't know how it happened. All I know is that
perhaps they knew it was you and they didn't want you to come back after one of your unfavorable reviews.
I don't think I'm the person they wanted.
It was like Casino, where the guy spits in the sandwich.
I never wrote about it, and I never mentioned it publicly. Now I'm mentioning it because the restaurant has changed hands.
How many years ago was that, though? Just for a qualifier.
We're going on 6 years ago. So it was 6 years ago.
Okay. So they've cleaned it up, I'm sure.
It was under previous ownership. It has changed ownership. A lot of people are saying that they've improved since the change of ownership, but I don't know why. I got to take the plunge and go back there, which is only fair. It's only fair.
You find a finger in your food, I mean, literally, not like a Mike Mayo finger where you just dip it in there, but like severed. Usually that's it. I probably wouldn't go back to the place. I would agree.
Right. Well, I'm a forgiving soul, and at 6 years and new ownership, I'm willing to go back and try it again. But it does trigger me a little bit. Hey, so speaking of the worst of times yesterday, besides Joey's horse finishing last, and I took a little beating at the track. And but first we have the Dolphins, and then things were a disaster for them, and then the Mets, and that was a worse. I mean, we could see all this coming, right? I mean, once the Mets
Dolphins didn't surprise me. Neither did the Mets, for that matter. I mean, San Diego's has a good team.
No, but once the Mets got swept, once they got swept in Atlanta, when all they had to do was win one of those 3 games, and they would have clinched a first round bye in the division, it was all over for them. And so that was such ugliness, as you like to say, Defo.
Although here I am sitting on a possible 9-0 week in the NFL.
No, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I wish I bet all of these games. I always have to decide what week this guy's going to bury himself. And, I'm always tempted to just make a parlay of all of his teams. And I'd be sitting there needing Kansas City -7 tonight to hit a 9-team parlay.
Well, that would be
if I was inclined to do that. And then I wouldn't have to worry about this meeting I have with my accountant later, where I have no paperwork to, do my taxes from 2021.
Well, at least you got
and he's implying there was an extension granted because of the hurricane. That doesn't apply to us, does it? Is that true?
Maybe all of Florida. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's
Why
that
do
would be
today?
Such a reprieve. I mean, what a call from the government that would be.
I don't think
Why do today what you could put off till next month?
I need another day because it is Columbus Day, horrifying, experience where Mustang goes to the bank to pick up the paperwork that I would need for my taxes that you dropped off there for this loan. And that's it. Now I would have an extra, a couple of months actually to get this together.
Lubie, what are we going to do with him? Because they have this awesome thing now called the internet, and if you actually do internet banking, you could print all your records and everything that you need to know without having to go to a bank.
1099 forms, though, would be a little.
They're all on there. Yeah. They're all on there, my friend. Everything. This technology today is amazing. Yeah. Anything you need from a bank or a credit card, you could just hit the button, the print button, it comes out, you send it to the accountant. It's very easy. Not that I've done mine from 21 yet either, but we're going to get there.
Well, at least I'm up to 2021.
Lubie looks like he's barely awake. Did you get enough sleep, Lubie, or were you
Oh no, I'm just thinking about the numbers and stuff and that. I do my taxes right away. You guys stress me out.
Oh, okay, yeah,
you guys waiting for deadlines, and April 15th is my deadline, and I do it 2 months before then. So
you're a very responsible citizen.
Me out.
I am an Eagle Scout, but sometimes I tend to get a little bit on
you're
the
a criminal degenerate.
Procrastinator.
There's an element of a criminal mind,
criminal
in Mike Mayo.
No, just degenerate.
You want to put your money up in smoke like the rest of us? It's great.
Hey, if you don't want to put your money up in smoke, if you want to invest it in a solid investment, a meal at Tropical Acres is
tonight would be always
the night.
Well, I am actually going tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, good for you.
My daughter, baby mama Michelle, is out of town. She's up in Ohio celebrating her mom's birthday. Natalia has lots of school.
There you go.
So, well, tonight I think we're going to be doing some Indian food, and tomorrow we're talking about going to Tropical Acres. Nice. She can drive home now, which is a wonderful thing. My daughter driving. It means I can get the half. Yeah, she can try. She has a full license.
You don't let her text while she's driving, do you?
No, she's not allowed to text while she's driving, but she is allowed to drive Daddy home after Daddy consumes a bottle of the half-price wine. Not the whole thing. That's the nice part at Tropical Acres. You could order the half-price wine, only have a couple of glasses, and they'll put a cork in it and bag it up, and you can take it home with you. So
now, can you order an extra bottle? I mean, just take a whole.
If you're very, very pleasant. And maybe if you know somebody, but they might let you take an extra bottle to go. I don't know. That's probably not the usual way. It's for in-house dining. The half-price wine is Monday and Tuesday. That's tonight. They also, I just checked, that Twin Lobster special. It's still going.
Oh, great.
I think they're going to run it until basically snowbird season officially begins at the end of the month. So I just checked their website today. Twin Lobster is still ongoing. $35 for 2 of those beautiful steamed Maine lobsters, along with a side dish and a salad. Go in there and you get that, or a beautiful filet mignon. They have the prime rib. They have the rack of lamb. They have anything you want there. All kinds of good seafood and steak specialties. They also have a butcher shop where you could get all kinds of goodies to grill at home. And I see that this week in the butcher shop, they're running a special. It's a American Wagyu ribeye. I believe it's a 14-ouncer, and it's $38. That's a good value for that American Wagyu beef. It is a beautiful thing at Tropical Acres. Let me see. No, I'm sorry. 12-ounce ribeye. Delmonico ribeye, boneless, $38 for American Wagyu. That's at the butcher shop, which is open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room opens at 4:30 p.m. every day but Sunday. And you've got the happy hour in the bar till 6:30, the early bird special for the first hour with extra goodies like soup and dessert and coffee or tea. Go to Tropical Acres. It's at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of 95 in the airport. The Studiali family will take great care of you. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Sounds good, man. I love Jack Studiali. The atmosphere there is just absolutely fantastic. And now the Wagyu, I mean, is it that much different, Mike Mayo, in your opinion, as the expert food critic, than like just getting a regular ribeye steak?
Well, it's more well marbled, which means it's fattier. Fat equals flavor.
Okay.
It depends. It's a personal preference. I know some people who don't even like the steaks that are even the USDA Prime also has a little bit higher marbling and fat content. I know people that like their beef leaner, and they're fine and happy with just the Angus, the regular Angus beef, which is what they feature at Tropical Acres for some of their cuts.
It's always okay with me, yeah.
And,
I like
and again, if you are one of those people that needs luxury and needs to be just
is it worth the extra money?
Dripping with,
what do you think?
Everything's subjective.
More flavorful. I mean, it's
more flavorful. And again, the more, if I'm getting Wagyu, and of course the original Wagyu is from a special breed of cattle in certain provinces of Japan. The A5 Wagyu is considered the paramount. It's the apex of Wagyu. It's very expensive. You know, when you see it at some steakhouses, it goes by the carat. No, it goes by the ounce, and it could be as high as like $40 an ounce. So if you get like just a 6-ounce,
a 2-ounce steak is $80. That's nice.
Oh no, it can be like
the thing is, it's so rich. Those kinds are so rich. It's like eating bacon. You couldn't have more than 2 ounces for one person. Okay. It's really it'll really.
That must look weird on a plate with no garnish. The 2-ounce Wagyu.
you get it with a couple of other things. You mix and match. That's the way you eat the Wagyu. I can never imagine eating a 10-ounce, pure A5 Wagyu. The American Wagyu and the Australian Wagyu is a little bit less fat content. So you can, I guess, put down a full steak. My delicate system, I probably wouldn't be eating more than 4 ounces of any kind of Wagyu beef.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah,
no one's going to believe that after watching this show.
All right, I just say that
and the way that you have chowed down on various lunches. But by the way, too, Tom Tanazzini killing it. I mean, he's killing me with these menu things
with the
that he does. So
Oof.
a special shout out to him. And nice to see Wicked Cheesesteaks, one of our fine new sponsors, recognized for having possibly, I mean, certainly in terms of value, among the best lobster rolls that is offered anywhere. Many people mention them, and that's kind of cool because you're taking cheesesteaks. Yeah,
is extremely reasonable.
Well, they give you a lot of lobster. It's pure,
it's
not the salad. We went to a place the other day, and I won't name them, but Shirley was excited because they did a lobster roll for $15. I'm like, yeah, because it's a salad, babe.
Yeah, because they cut it with so much filler. Yep. Sometimes they use that fake crab meat. What's it called? Serini? I don't know. It's like
the crab with the
Japanese, cat crab with a K. Sometimes they cut it with shrimp and crawfish. There's a place I know that I'm not going to name that does that. But you want a place that's using nothing but pure unadulterated Maine lobster. And Brian at Wicked Cheesesteaks, he's from Maine. He's got some pride. He would never serve anything other than the kind of lobster roll that you'd find in a roadside stand in Kennebunkport, which is where he's from, or some of those other great small towns.
Who used to go there all the time? George Bush Sr. was Kennebunkport.
Kennebunkport with the Bush family. The elder big. Bushes. And
they were always holding up lobster rolls that they got for free, no doubt.
Yeah. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back after these words on the Lunchbox. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
I like that we're all slobbering stuff down there on those pictures. Wicked Cheesesteak. First time I saw the ad, everybody's shoveling food in their face in every picture. It's great.
It's what we do.
Yeah,
that's it. Hey, we're up to the second block today, and we have to talk about. It's not the elephant in the room.
Sure,
we have to talk about cream cheese, because I was listening to your morning show, gentlemen, and Defo, I heard you had a little incident. Can you tell the fine folks of the Lunchbox crowd?
I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I've been eating cream cheese my whole life. I was a huge cream cheese fan. My mother, one of her specialties was cream cheese and jelly sandwich on white Wonder bread. And I loved it. And I'll put cream cheese on anything, a matzah, on crackers, whatever I can find. Bagels, of course. And I love it on my cinnamon raisin English muffin that I make every morning for my breakfast. But I noticed right away this particular tub of cream cheese. It wasn't a giant one or anything, but it cost me about $6. Remember, we had the cream cheese.
Wait, this was a tub of Publix brand,
a regular
generic?
Publix brand. Not whipped, but
not
regular
whipped
cream cheese. Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second? Whipped versus regular?
It's a big debate, but just to give you the details on this, and I'm not a whipped cream cheese fan, so I never buy that. Mustang always buys that because she loves it.
Is the bomb,
and it probably tastes kind of sweet a little bit. But this tasted kind of sour from the very first taste. I took a little knife in there. I was making something. You naturally go in there, take the mayo bite with the knife. I didn't use my fingers. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You sample everything. Do you sniff it too?
No, there's no reason to smell cream cheese, but
so
I noticed it tasted a little bit bitter. And I thought, well, it's the Publix store-bought brand, so it's not Philadelphia, so maybe
bitter
it's a little
or
bit
sour.
A little, combination in there, sort of, sour. It wasn't what I would normally, think what was, a perfectly good tub of cream cheese.
Okay.
So I keep eating the thing, though. I'm about halfway through it, and I keep waiting for it to get better.
You keep eating it just off the spoon?
No,
I
made like one of my things, and I don't know how you feel about this. It'd probably be appalling to you, but I do enjoy, believe it or not, a cream cheese omelet. I don't know if you've ever had a cream cheese omelet.
That's fine. I got no issues with that.
It's easy to make. I mean, you got the eggs going.
Fat
in the
and
pan
protein.
There.
No carbs.
It's good. It enhances the eggs a little bit. If you're only having a couple of eggs, it makes it seem like you're eating more. So it's good in the morning for me. But even that, I didn't. I didn't really find that it was normal. And so, what do you do? I mean,
so let me. Okay, this is
with a half-eaten tub of cream chease. You have to toss the rest, right?
Let me go into my Columbo mode here. Okay. First of all, what was the expiration date on?
No, this was just bought like a week ago.
That wasn't the question. Did you check?
I didn't really. I didn't look at the expiration date on there.
This is what I've been noticing
when I first looked at originally.
Sometimes at Publix, I always check every expiration date while I'm shopping because the tricks, what they do there is they always put the stuff that's right on the edge of expiration dates at the front. And you got to go
says
all the
that
way.
Cigarette butt was in the cream cheese.
You got to reach in the back, and because usually they have the one that is going to be the the one that is the most recently placed on there, all the way in the back, and the one that's going to be and also what I do is I look because I've had instances where things like yogurts and cream cheese, Like I pick up the first one and I look, and the date is like either the next day, and I've actually seen it where it was last week.
It has a picture of Abe Lincoln on it. Yeah, eating a bagel.
So I have two theories of what happened, Defo. One is that you said you just bought it, but you didn't check the expiration date.
No, I did not check the expiration date.
And it might have been on the edge.
Yeah,
and you might have opened it up. And I noticed this with I have my no fat Greek yogurt, and when it's getting close to the expiration date, it gets on that edge of we call it edge of turning, where it's like a little bit sour.
Louis Pasteur time. Like you wouldn't even serve it to Louis.
And some people with fragile systems, if you have more than a few bites, you're gonna pay a price. It's not good. It won't kill you, but it'll set you back, and you'll have to spend a little time reading the New York Post if you get the drift. The
Post was very favorable today because they didn't have the Met result in my Bulldog edition.
That's good.
So they had the Jets and the Giants, and they were euphoric.
All right. So what you should do. And my other theory was maybe it was something that has an expiration date of next month or a couple of weeks. But you see how these things, the pack now that have with these like airtight foil seals on top of it,
which it had one, yes.
It had one, but sometimes there might be a little break, or the seal comes off somewhere, or there's a tear. And when
as I recall, it took a little resistance. It had a little resistance to pull.
Okay, that means it wasn't the seal wasn't broken. Because when you get that oxidization, then it could turn a little faster, even if it's not at the expiration date. But you're saying that it was the structure was intact, there was integrity.
I would take
cream cheese container,
and it tasted a little sour.
So I'm saying that it might have been on the edge of the expiration date, since you can't testify that what the expiration date was.
No, I can't.
What I would do, sir, is Publix. If it was it bought at Publix or Winn-Dixie?
Publix, yes. Publix
has a very generous return policy.
If you eat half the tub, you're going to go.
Well, now you're acting.
Is no good.
Now you're acting like some of these Let's Eat members, where they don't complain until there's one shrimp left on their entree. And they say,
I'm willing to throw it out. I'm wondering if I should eat it at all. That's the thing. I mean,
you shouldn't have eaten it.
Yeah.
And again, this is the advice I gave in the morning on your chat line is when in doubt, throw it out. If it smells funky, if it tastes funky, stop eating it. And you either take it back to the Publix they'll let you exchange it. They'll give you a full refund. You don't even have to have the original receipt. If you're a regular there and the clerk recognizes you, they'll take care of you. I mean, I don't like to do this. To me, my time, I don't do it, but my mom's aide does it all the time. When I say, "Oh, this is good,"
all the time.
She runs back to my local Publix, and she gets me all kinds of refunds. That lettuce in the bag that I think I'm gonna actually be good for a couple of weeks and have a salad.
Years,
and never open it,
that's gonna be good,
and then it comes to the expiration date, and it's all waterlogged. That's already turned, but it's still the expiration date. She'll run back and exchange it.
It's like the leaves you used to rake off your yard in Brooklyn there or whatever.
So
and you've had it in the fridge for a month. In general, I trust Publix. I probably, as soon as I tasted it, I should have closed it up and said, "I'm taking this back."
Yeah, enough. But obviously, you were in a state of either desperation, where you said, you know what, it doesn't taste good.
I think I just because I'm an old geezer, I figured, wow, maybe I forgot what cream cheese tastes like, even though I've eaten cream cheese my entire life, like 71
It is
years.
made using curds, so sometimes those curds have a little bit of a sour taste, but it shouldn't. When it's fresh. And I just I opened another cream cheese. Actually, the one I got from Grandpa's Deli, the plain cream cheese, and they whip those batches up.
They're not serving this at Grandpa's. I can guarantee.
No.
Yeah.
No, at Grandpa, what he starts with when they whip in all these stuff, they start with the blocks of Philadelphia cheese.
My mom always
they
said
whip
that.
it themselves. They whip it themselves, and they whip in the mix-ins like the chives and the little lox spread and stuff like that, the veggies. But they start with the plain old Philadelphia block cream cheese. And I don't think it ever has that sour. I think it's more of it's just a robust, salty.
It's funny.
creamy.
Steve Dickstein is chiming in here. What about the expiration dates on items in the fridge? Now,
yeah,
I used to have before I got with a Mustang, I had what was called bachelor fridge, where you had some old French fries, a potato with like a plant growing out of it. And the expiration date didn't even have a date. It just had a skull and crossbones. And that was it. And, one Fanta orange soda that you picked up at a gas station, when you were traveling south from, say, Orlando or whatever, that you put in the fridge 3 years ago. So, yeah, I don't know. I should be more conscious of this. I'm going to check it out as soon as the show's over.
I'm always on the.
I don't know that I'm going to take it back. I think I'm just going to chuck it because I would be embarrassed for the amount that I had consumed already to say, oh, well, geez, this is no good. Why don't you take it back?
Believe it or not, for those who are so inclined with the internet, like the USDA has a full guide of like expiration dates and things in the fridge. And once things are open, when you should toss them. I don't ever really follow that, but I have become more careful. Actually, I do follow things now because I follow my nose, and you say you don't always smell things. Like I give things a smell test because if something smells a little funky, I toss it. Especially now with my mom living with me, and
I don't know that cream cheese has a smell in general.
Well, it shouldn't. Yeah. It shouldn't. If it does, it's time to toss it. But when it comes to things like I'm thinking of like condiments, ketchup, and the Tabasco sauce and sriracha sauce that lasts forever, even after you open it. But things like the ranch dressing, when I get those Marie's dressings, and then my salads sometimes come few and far between at home, regrettably. And
seems like it. Yes, I mean people can make their own judgments, but you're not having a lot of salads lately, Mike.
But I have that half-opened ranch and the half-opened the creamy Italian. And, I think like, okay, the expiration date on the jar says the end of November, but it's already actually been open since like mid-August. And then I pay the price because I sometimes put it on a salad.
Oh,
and then I end up having to read the
balsamic vinaigrette, though. Doesn't that keep forever? I'm assuming that's good forever.
Anything, it's milk. It's just milk and cream.
Yeah, anything that's dairy-based, the buttermilk, which is the ranch dressing, and things like that. So, again, when in doubt, throw it out. And if if things start growing like little black spots on it,
no, you know how you have the potato, it gets that little kind of tree growing out of it. Lubie's seen this because he used to come to my house back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, the tubers, they start growing.
Well, surely, we grow a garden. We had an onion garden because my wife would buy things and never use them.
You could clip it and plant it, and then
it actually would grow on its own, and it was amazing. It became like a vine in our kitchen. It was the most impressive.
It's like a science experiment. The Lubie's
I'm like, hey,
some sick doctor. Yeah.
Hey, but this is very appropriate because you know what food holiday we missed because it was on the weekend yesterday?
Cream cheese day. Get out of here.
National Moldy Cheese Day.
Oh, why is
moldy cheese day?
They're referring to things that have mold growing through them as part of the package. Yeah. Roquefort, blue cheese, Stilton, all that family of which actually part of the cheese and the flavor comes from the stinky mold. I don't know how you feel about that. But
I feel good. I like blue cheese. I didn't. That's one of those things. I think we asked this question once. I might have even proposed it. Like, what's something that as a kid you were completely turned off by that you now find absolutely incredibly good to eat? And blue cheese would have been one of them. I mean, I would never touch it. My dad was a big cheese connoisseur. He was very well versed in all culinary things, was a great cook and everything, and really was a Renaissance man. And he had a little Bourdain in him also. But he would eat these, I mean, the smelliest blue cheese. I don't know. I mean, he had.
It's an acquired taste, but I happen to love it, and I inadvertently celebrated yesterday because I didn't realize that it was Moldy Cheese Day. But at the bar at Christine Lee's, my first drink was a Bloody Mary, and the bartender.
And you put
Timmy,
blue cheese in it?
No, Timmy, the bartender, he makes his own blue cheese stuffed olives. He said, "Do you want some of those blue cheese stuffed olives in the Bloody Mary?" And I said, "Of course." So I ate my blue cheese yesterday on Moldy Cheese Day. Hey, we got to take another break.
You did celebrate it then. Very nice.
We did, inadvertently. But
did you ever eat Liederkranz cheese?
No, we're not talking about that now. We got to take a break. I don't even know what Liederkranz cheese is. Is it a?
Wow, I mean, I'm more advanced than you in these things. Unbelievable. My dad
when it comes to mold,
smelliest cheese you ever had in your life, Liederkranz, it's called.
Okay.
I guess obviously it sounds like a German cheese of some
sort. I'll try anything once. Let's do it at. Do they have it at the Ambry or at the?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I've seen it ever since. My dad used to eat this all the time. But
do you eat that with liverwurst?
I don't know. I think it's by itself. He was like a cracker guy. Now, what kind of crackers are you using? I know we got to take a break.
The weeds here. We got to take the break. What kind of crackers? I eat like
with that kind of cheese, with like a blue cheese.
No, I like.
Remember rye crisps? I mean, would you ever do like rye crisps? No.
No, I'm not a Rice Crisp guy. I like those Cars wafers. That's a kind of a nice British refined cracker that comes in
Going back
various
to your
shapes
days
and
at the
sizes.
London School of Finance. That's what I
I
love.
like the Cars crackers. They call it is a
All right.
nice cracker. So used to be Ritz when I was younger with Cheese Whiz.
Ritz
and
was
Cheese
great,
Whiz.
and with
That
cream
is
cheese. Ritz
that's
is
good
good also.
nostalgia.
Peanut
All right,
butter.
let's take our last break of the day, and then we'll wrap up this moldy, stinky monstrosity known as the Lunchbox. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. Then there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. We only have a couple of minutes left, but I just got a text from Jack Studiali. He says the Twin Lobster special will be running until mid-November, and it's Monday through Friday only. So they're going up all the way almost till Thanksgiving. So that's good news for lobster lovers. That's good. I guess, we don't. I wanted to talk about another breakfast item besides the cream cheese, but eggs. I mean, you talk about going to get a loan at the bank, Defo. I think people need.
I just wanted to buy a dozen eggs. That's what I'm getting. I'm borrowing
it's crazy
150
now.
grand.
Like the basic eggs, not the fancy schmancy organic ones, are going for like $4 a dozen, $4.35 a dozen.
Wow.
I guess I'm hearing all kinds of different explanations, excuses from there was an avian flu outbreak earlier that birds, it was wiping out some of the chickens. There was also, I guess, the cost of feed for the birds that lay eggs. The roosters don't lay eggs. It's hens. Hens laying eggs. I guess the cost of feed has gone way up. I don't know what it is, but these omelets and egg McMuffins, and I can't afford that anymore. I think I'm just going to be doubting, I think the salmon is going to be cheaper than the eggs soon. It's crazy.
Pretty, all right. Yeah. That's it.
All right. That's it.
Lubie's giving you the bum's rush, man.
He's giving me, gotta get out
I like
here.
that you got into bird feed on the show today. That certainly was taking great detail.
Oh, and appropriately enough, today, the day after National Moldy Cheese Day, today is National Tic Tac Day. So everybody get yourself a pack of Tic Tacs.
I recommend it.
Get that breath and nice and fresh. And we'll start again tomorrow. We'll be here on Tuesday and every day this week. Thanks for tuning in. For Mike Lubie Lubitz and Jeff Defo DeForest, I'm Mike Mayo saying enjoy every sandwich.
Reach, gentlemen.